new wave, and that was a kind of a movement to it. Let's have a new wave off British heavy metal bands. So all of this bands who up till then had just been like basically struggling pub rock bands all became part of it. Picture this, a packed London arena, lights spinning like a storm as Bruce Dickinson walks to the microphone. Tonight isn't an Iron Maiden concert. It's themed. Bruce tells his feelings, sharing Ozzy Osbourne's darkest secrets and leaving fans shocked. Bright white lights shine on Bruce Dickinson, but he don't move. He stares out into the crowd, his face hard with anger. His hands are in fists, his voice is calm, but there's fire behind it. He starts telling what many thought but no wondered to say. He says as he betrayed people, told lies backstage, ruined shows, made promises and broke them. He says as he hurt people, used them, and then left when things got hard. Other musicians paid the price while Ozzy kept smiling in front of the cameras. The problems between them started in the early 1980s. They went on tours together, but it was never friendly. Their egos were too big, their styles too different. Ozzy once skipped an important show without telling anyone. Bruce's team had to fix the mess. From that day, Bruce never trusted him again. Things got worse. Ozzy laughed at Bruce in interviews, made fun of the way he sang. Bruce fought back, calling Ozzy fake. Their fight turned cold and mean. They passed each other backstage without talking. Their hate grew insolence. Now on stage, Bruce lets it all out. No acting, no performance, just truth. The crowd doesn't cheer. They stare shocked, somewhere far away, as he hears about it, and for the first time in years, he don't laugh. Think of two giants bright together by chance. Bruce and Ozzy shared festival stages in the early 80s, getting cheers and gasping for breath in mosh pits of love. But on cold Scottish mornings and hot festival green rooms, small fights grew into open wounds. In 1983, Ozzy skipped a big soundcheck in Glasgow, leaving Bruce's crew scrambling under rainy skies. That moment broke trust and started a fight that burned beneath a very hand wave and quick nod. The worst night of Ozzy Osbourne's life didn't happen on stage, in jail, or in court. It happened in total silence, alone in a hotel room in St. Louis, 1986. He had locked himself in for 3 days, surrounded by empty bottles, half-eaten takeout, and crushed pill bottles. The TV played on mute, showing static snow while Ozzy sat without a shirt in the carpet, his back against the bathroom door, a loaded gun in his lap. He had written a goodbye letter to Sharon on hotel paper. The words were hard to read, ink smeared with tears and shaking hands. I can clearly remember that. So my heroes up to the age of 10 or 11 were test pilots and astronauts, you know. I followed me on Apollo 13. I mean, he had planned to end it all that night. No more tours, no more screaming fans, no more demons clawing through his skin. But as he raised the gun to his head, something happened. A tiny photograph of his daughter, Kelly, had slipped out of his wallet and landed beside the gun. Her smile, crooked and sweet, stared back at him like a lighthouse through fog. As he fell down crying, deep scary animal sounds. He dropped Thagan, crawled to the bed, and passed Uteen a pile of his own sadness. That moment became a story among those close to him, not because he lived, but because for the first time, as he said, he wanted to die. That was the moment he hit the bottom. And from that low point, there were only two paths. Stay buried or start climbing. You've probably heard the surface stories, crazy accidents, TEV sets thrown from hotel windows. But those headlines were just the smoke. The fire burned deep inside him. By 1984, addiction wasn't just a problem. It washes God. Heroin, cocaine, pills, whiskey, it all flowed through him in deadly music. His body became a battlefield, a swollen monument to self-destruction. Imagine him curled up in a dark Los Angeles apartment, the carpet wet with spilled Jack Daniels, needles shining like fangs in the moonlight. The air smelled of sweat, throw up, and hopelessness. As he would wake up gasping, not knowing whether he'd passed out yesterday or 3 days ago. His screams, sometimes from seeing things, sometimes from pure fear, bounced off peeling walls and made neighbors call the police. One night, thinking the Saya had bugged his apartment, he tore apart every lamp and radio, even digging in towels with bleeding fingers. Another night, he tried to climb out a window, sure the floor was on fire. Near-deadly overdoses blurred the line between being awake and dreaming until reality itself became an enemy. Friends stopped visiting. Sharon ran to her sisters more than once, holding the kids and crying. Ozzy's mind broke. Ever a camera flash became a sniper gun, every knock a SWAT team. His fueled him, whispering lies in his ear louder than any crowd ever had. He wasn't just lost, he was disappearing, a legend crumbling. Behind locked doors while the world cheered the myth and dignered the man slowly vanished inside it. When the crowd's noise faded, Ozzy's home became a place of destruction. By night, their mansion echoed with the sounds of broken glass and broken hearts. Sharon's voice, rough with anger, cut through the silence like a siren, while Ozzy, slurring and stumbling, screamed apologies he barely understood. Doors were ripped off hinges, framed family photos broke like their marriage, their smiling face cracked on cold marble floors. Midnight police calls became normal, security guards looked away as plates flew through the air. Neighbors heard the chaos through garden hedges. On evening, Jack was found curled under a table, hands over his ears as his parents fought above him. Sharon, strong and burned by betrayal, get lawyers, she said as he was manipulating, making drunk threats, and disappearing for days on drug-filled binges. As he, half angry and half broken, said Sharon treated him like a product, a leather-wearing paycheck and eyeliner. What began as love had turned into war. Their love now a legal bloodbath. Custody battles over Kelly and Jack exploded across tabloids like a slow-motion car crash. Headline screamed betrayal. Photographers camped at gates, catching glimpses of teary goodbyes and court papers clutched in shaking hands. Inside courtrooms, unseparate wounds were shared with surgical precision. Their wedding promises, whispered over candlelight, were noticed as weapons in legal papers. Behind the golden gates of rock royalty, the Osbourne home stood as a tomb of love, echoing not with music, but with screams, slamming doors, and the hallucinance of two people who had unseparated forever and now couldn't survive a minute in the same room. Just as fans caught their breath, the headlines exploded like grenades. In 1981, Ozzy's joyride on an ATV turned into a nightmare. The crash broke his collarbone, cracked ribs, and left his face covered with blood. But that true horror wasn't just the physical pain. It was the camera flashes going off like gunfire around the ambulance. Photographers hung on fences, shouting for statements. As paramedics wheeled him away, barely awake. As he got better, the downward spiral got faster. DUI arrests in California dragged him into dirty holding cell smelling of sweat and hopelessness. One mugshot with Ozzy's eyes half closed and mouth open went viral before the term existed, pinned to dorm walls and record stores like a trophy of chaos. Throw, he screamed at airport security, threw a cup at a flight attendant, and had to be dragged away by 3 officers. Tourists filmed the interesting. Children cried in the background as their parents explained, "That's Ozzy Osbourne." Managers cried bin tinted glass, begging him to stay indoors. Record company bosses wrote emergency PR plans like field medics in a war zone, but as he wouldn't be tamed, each new outburst added another brick to the story. A rock god immune to consequence. Too wild for the world tokage. He wasn't just self-destructing. He was becoming folklore, one scandal at a time. Despite the chaos, Ozzy's great victory awaited. In 1980, Blizzard of Oz wasn't just an album, it was an exorcism. Picture him, pale, skinny, shaking with withdrawals, hunched over a beaten piano. In a smoky London studio, his voice cracked, not from weakness, but from the weight of demons being kicked out. The studio smelled off burnt coffee, stale cigarettes, and redemption. The songs weren't just written, they were ripped from him. I didn't know bled confusion and existential dread. Goodbye to romance whispered regret, a letter to the bandmates he'd left behind. And when Crazy Train hit the airwaves, it didn't just scream of survival, it roared off defiance. As he wasn't just back, he were born with Randy Rhoads at his side, the guitar genius who lit the path through Ozzy's darkness. The album exploded across charts worldwide, shocking critics who had written him off as a drug-addled has-been. Tour, Biz rolled again. Sold-out arenas called. Fans saw not just the Prince of Darkness, but a man who had faced the abyss and come out swinging. Blizzard Office didn't just bring back a career. It redefined what it meant to fall and rise again. As Bruce steps back, silence clamps onto the arena like cement. A few stunned fans stay frozen in their seats, eyes wide, hands clutching concert shirts. like prayer cloths. Others stumble into thinite, their voices blending into a confused murmur, questions tumbling from their lips like falling ash. Will Ozzy respond? Can he face the demons Bruce just dragged into the spotlight? Camera lights flicker against a Scythic with London fog, casting Brewster's stiff silhouette into myth. Social media explodes, headlines scream, old bandmates weigh in, and rock journalists scribble for scraps of insight, but none of them truly know what's happening behind closed doors. Somewhere, behind gates and blackout curtains, Ozzy Osbourne watches in silence. His eyes, glassy yet burning, scan the footage, the words echo louder than any Sabbath riff. A shaking hand reaches for a glass, not of whiskey, but of water. Sharon sits across from him, her face a mask of shock and anger. For the Prince of Darkness, the battle no longer involves stages or sold-out arenas. It's internal now. The fight for dignity, they're coning with choices once hidden behind power chords and fireworks. This isn't a scandal, it's a crossroads. And whether, as he walks into the fire or away from it, will define not just his legacy, but his soul.